Hey, good morning, everybody. Here I am in Durban. I'm Slonga Rocks, and I wanted to show you the ocean and see if you have a desire to take a break and take a rest from time to time, which is so important. So as business people, as you can see that this is the ocean in the background, you see a few ships in the distance. And as you think about the importance of taking a break, the importance of de-stressing, it is so imperative that each and every one of you from time to time plan during the year times to just take a break so that you can de-stress and you can get to a place where you can think straight. And as we look at the ocean, I'm sure many of you in the Highveld, Johannesburg and those areas are just longing to be at the ocean, but it's so important to take a break from time to time. So as you join me this morning, as we talk about excellence in the marketplace, I wanted to show you the importance of de-stressing from time to time and encourage you that when you are stressed out, you never ever are able to think clearly and think properly. And as a result, you'll make decisions that'll really hurt your business. It'll hurt you in the workplace. And so it is important for you from time to time to take a little bit of break. And so as I bring you into focus of what we're talking about today, I want to encourage you to always think about taking a break from time to time. So this morning in beautiful Durban, South Africa, I want to talk to you about a very, very wonderful scripture, very powerful scripture that I love so much, and that is the thing that drives me. It has to do with excellence. And so in Proverbs 22:29, the Bible says, "Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men." And so this morning, when you think about the importance of excellence in the marketplace, as you think about how important it is to really drive yourself towards becoming a person of excellence. You know, excellence is so important, and very, very often people forget that this is a requirement. This is a standard. We have to have a standard of excellence when we are pursuing business and when we are in the marketplace, because your marketplace is the place where you begin to reveal the kingdom ethics. The marketplace is a place, if you're a child of God, if you're a Christian, if you're a born-again Christian, you have to live up to the standard that is required of you. And so we started off this morning, I showed you a little bit of the ocean that is, from the place where we're staying at. And even though it's a time that we're taking a little bit of break, but it's also a time where we're also ministering constantly, because we don't want to be at a place where we stop ministering. So every moment of your life, every day that you have the opportunity to begin to reveal the kingdom principles to the world out there, that's a great opportunity to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so, do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. It is so vital for us to approve what is excellence. It's so vital for us to get to the point where we begin to encourage others to produce at the level that is required of us. And so this morning, dear family, I want to encourage you to never drop the standard, never drop the ball. It is important whenever you feel highly stressed to take a break. And as I said this morning, I showed you a little bit of the ocean. If you've missed it and you joined in a little late, you can go back and you can see a little bit of the ocean. And you can see the ships in the distance on the horizon. And when you look out at the ocean, you realize what a magnificent, mighty God we serve. He's the God who put the oceans in place. He's the God who stopped the oceans from coming over the border lines of the beach and the shorelines. And so if God had put everything in place, and God is a God of order, how much more should you be a person of order? So when you're running your business, be a person of order. Take some time, plan some time to de-stress, and plan to always get everything in order in your business. God does not bless anything that is out of order. You want to be a person that is planning well, because if you are not planning well, then you're out of order. When you plan well and you put things in order, God begins to bless whatever is in order. So one of the important things, like I started off saying today, is that you have to plan to de-stress from time to time. If you are in an environment where you are highly stressed, if you are in an environment even in your home where you are highly stressed, you have to plan to move out for a few days. You have to plan with your family to get away for a few days so that you can think clearly and you can de-stress and get rid of all of the toxic thoughts that are weighing you down. Because when your mind is heavy laden with toxic thoughts, you begin to make bad decisions, you begin to treat people badly, your attitude begins to stink, you make the wrong kind of choices, and as a result, you don't produce at the level that is required, but you produce below the standard that is required. So you can't think straight, you can't make the right decisions, you can't plan well, and so you want to take a moment to de-stress. It's important to de-stress. It's important to get things in order. And when you get things in order, when you plan, when you prioritize, you begin to think clearly and you begin to make proper decisions. Now, when your business is not doing well, that is the best time to begin to de-stress and strategize. Don't stress because you don't have any business. Don't stress because it's quiet in the season that you are in. Begin to plan and strategize and seek the voice of God so that you can have a download of divine strategies while you're preparing for the next season. Remember that every season of dryness is a great opportunity to plan for the things that you're about to encounter. Every season of dryness, every dry season is a great opportunity to plan for the seasons you're about to encounter. So don't think about the dry season and get weighed down and get stressed out. Learn to de-stress. Many times I find that a lot of people have this excuse. I don't have the money to go away. I don't have the finances to take my family out of town. If you don't plan, you will continuously follow the same cycle of a highly stressed out lifestyle. And what stress does, it causes a lot of sickness in your body. Stress also causes you to get to the place where you're aging very quickly. So you want to be at a place, we all want longevity. And de-stressing is one of the key factors that you have to plan for in order to de-stress, in order to think clearly. So one of the things that I found with people, business people, is that when they are highly stressed, they don't think clearly. I find with a lot of staff members, they don't think clearly because they are highly stressed. That was when I was running my businesses. So what we need to do is take them aside, give them a pep talk, give them a bit of encouragement. And we spoke about this 2 weeks ago, that it's important to motivate your staff. It's important to spend at least 5 minutes. Then last week we spoke about attitudes. Do you know that attitudes are an alarm bell for deep-seated character flaws? Bad attitudes are the alarm bells for deep-seated character flaws. So when somebody has a bad attitude, it means that there's a deep-seated character flaw that even they themselves don't know about, and you have to take a moment to pull them aside and encourage them, build them up, because they might be going through stuff. So today we want to talk about the importance of de-stressing, and here's the problem: procrastination. When you procrastinate, your stress levels go high. You think you're putting off for tomorrow what should be done today. And you think that you will get it done tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, you will do exactly the same thing. You will follow the same pattern of procrastination. And procrastination, as we all have heard it so many times before, that procrastination is a thief of time. But what you don't realize is that procrastination delays the arrival into the success that you desire. Procrastination delays the progress. Procrastination causes you to regress instead of progressing. So you want to get rid of every element of procrastination. Now, number one, today we spoke about get order. Number two, de-stress. And number three, eliminate procrastination. And I want to just play around with those three things for a few moments with our time that we have today. Many times people are so focused on the high stress levels because they want to get through the challenge that they're facing. They want to get out of the season that they are in. And what they do is they tend to elevate the stress levels. And if you're highly stressed, you want to take a moment. Find somebody that can talk you out of your stress. Find the voices that can talk you out of the clutter in your mind, because clutter, what happens is when you are highly stressed, you begin to have a cluttered mindset. You have a lot of stuff that begins to clutter your mind and you can't think clearly. Now that's where the order comes in. So if you are not going to have a mind where you put things in order, if your desk is a mess, your life will be highly stressed. If your desk is a mess, your life will be highly stressed. You want to get rid of the stress factors. You want to eliminate those things that are cluttering your mind. Get rid of anything that is causing a huge clutter in your mind. So if your desk is a mess, your life will be highly stressed. Your thinking will be highly stressed. So let's take time out. Let's de-stress. let's take a moment to think clearly. When you are under pressure and you become highly stressed, it'll do you a great deal of good if you take a few moments to talk to somebody that can help you offload the toxic thoughts, offload the toxic thinking in your mind, because the more toxic, the more cluttered your mind becomes, the more toxic you become. So you will start making the wrong decisions. You just want to get through the pressure moments of your life, and it's not going to happen until you take a moment to de-stress, get order in your life, and stop procrastinating. Now, what I found is many times people are making silly excuses. And when you make silly excuses and you put off for tomorrow what should be done today, what's going to happen is there's going to be a pile of undone stuff on your desk. Whether it's in your mind or on your physical desk, there's going to be a pile of undone things. You don't want to leave things undone. Whatever you can get done today, get it done. Whatever you can get done today, get it done. Start off early to get done what you have been putting off for days. Start off early to get done today what you have been putting off for days. Because the more you pile things up, the more stressful your life is going to become tomorrow. And what you'll be doing is, instead of living from success to success, from moving from one level of completion to another level of completion, you will be piling up a whole lot of unwanted stuff in your tomorrow. Get your paperwork in order. Get your ducks in a row. Get people that are working for you, the team players, get them to understand the importance of uncluttering their lives, because there's nothing worse than having a bunch of people that have a pile of undone stuff on the desk, because they would become more and more lazy. The more you pile, the more lazy you become. The more you pile up what should be done today, the more you pile it up for tomorrow, the more lazy your staff becomes. Never leave people at the place of where there's a whole lot of turmoil around them. When you walk into your employees' offices and into their office and you see their desk cluttered, get them immediately to unclutter their lives. Because if they are full of clutter, if they have no order, they are not going to think straight, because the environment causes you to think in certain ways. If there's clutter, your mind will be cluttered. If there's order, your mind will have order. If there are things that have been piling up in front of them, whatever they focus on, it's going to cause them to become more and more stressful. And as a result, the higher the stress levels, the greater the clutter. The greater the clutter, the less they will produce. You want to get them to think at a level of excellence where people are no longer at a place of high stress levels and great clutter, no order. So get them, number one, de-stress. Number two, get them to have order. And number three, get them out of the place of procrastination. So it is important to get people out of the place of procrastination. So as we look at all of these things that are very, very important, as I said in the beginning, do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men. The next thing you need to remember is that you must learn to sense what is vital. You must learn to approve and prize what is excellent. It is important that when you sense what is vital, when you approve what is excellent, when you prize what is excellent of real value, you begin to raise the value system within your own thinking. So when you learn to prize what is vital, when you learn to prize what is excellent, place a high value on high productivity at levels that is of a level of excellence, you begin to get people to think beyond mediocrity. Now, remember this, that when excellence becomes your passion, mediocrity will become your enemy. Whenever excellence becomes your passion, mediocrity will become your enemy. You don't want to produce at a level of mediocre thinking. You don't want to produce at a level of mediocre lifestyles. You want to produce at a level of excellence. So excellence requires de-stress. Excellence requires that you get rid of mediocre thoughts. In other words, get rid of the clutter, get rid of the lack of order. Excellence requires that you don't delay, you don't waste time on the unnecessary. You make sure you get stuff done today that is required to be done. Because people who are highly stressed don't think straight. People that have clutter don't have order, therefore they do not think clearly. People who procrastinate pile up for tomorrow and they never get done what should be done today. So do not allow people to get away with this mediocre lifestyle. You want to run a business of excellence. You want to be a person who produces at a level of excellence in the marketplace. So if you are beginning to stress out, take a moment to speak to the right voices. If you plan with your mentor, if you plan with your life coach, when you find your stress levels are at a high, if you plan a couple of minutes of conversations with them that will get you talk you out of the stress levels, talk you out of the clutter in your mind, talk you out of procrastination. These are vital keys to get you at a high level of productivity. Now, whether you're a volunteer, whether you're earning a salary, whether you're the head of a business, all of these things does not determine what you can produce. It is you, your internal thinking, your internal thought patterns, who you are on the inside that shows up on the outside. So when you sow at a level of excellence, you will reap a harvest at a level of excellence that is required, that you require for the season that you are in. So you want to get rid of all of the things that are cluttering your life. You want to get rid of the lack of order in your life. You want to get rid of procrastination. These are the three key factors we're talking about today to get you to a level of thinking beyond mediocrity. Getting at a level, because do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men. You have to learn to approve what is vital. You have to learn to approve what is of value. You want to get yourself thinking at a high level of productivity. And in order to think at a high level of productivity, you got to think excellence. Because if you think at a low level of excellence, in other words, if you think at a level of mediocrity, you will produce mediocre. Now remind yourself that I need to be more excellent today than I was yesterday. I need to produce at a high level today than I produced yesterday. So in order to do that, I got to de-stress. I got to talk to my life coaches. I got to talk to my mentor as often as I can, because you don't need to be in their presence to think at the level that you require to be productive. You need to hear their voice. And their voice charges you up. Their voice drives you. Their voice helps you unclutter your life. Their voice helps you to think straight. Now, I have business people that talk to me constantly. I speak to people for me to be uncluttered, for me to be encouraged. I have life coaches that enables me to think at that level that I need to. My wife is the voice that I bounce things off, and I am the voice that speaks into her life. So together, we are each other's life coaches, as a matter of fact. And so what we need to do is get to the point where we have the right voices speaking into our lives to drive us to the level that is required. Because if you don't have the right voice, you are going to produce at a low level and you'll get frustrated. There's nothing more than being frustrated with yourself. There's nothing much worse than being frustrated with yourself. And there's nothing more that you can do if you are constantly frustrated. If you are frustrated, you are at the place of heavy clutter in your mind. If you are frustrated with your lack of productivity, if you are frustrated as a business owner because you're not producing at the level that you require, even as an executive housewife, even as a family man, you need to learn to have order in your home. You need to learn to have order in your marriage. You need to learn to have order among your children or with your children, so that when they are at a place of low levels of stress, your entire family, you will produce at a high level of productivity. You will function at a high level of productivity. You will function at a high level of excellence, because when you are highly cluttered, highly stressed, you are procrastinating. You have no order in your life. You got to fight this fight with the right kind of voices. Don't fight it just with prayer. Don't fight it just by trying to get rid of the problems that you are facing. You're not going to get rid of it if you don't have the right voices. You're not going to get rid of it if you have the wrong voices speaking to your life. Many people have been driven down the dead-end road of destruction because they have the wrong voices speaking into their lives. They are not empowered to produce at the level that they require. And so today, my encouragement to you, get rid of the stress, get rid of the clutter. In other words, bring order, get rid of procrastination. These three things, if you don't get them right, you are going to live daily at a low level of productivity. If you want to be excellent in the marketplace, you want to make sure that everybody around you are producing at the level that is required, because if they don't produce at the level that is required, you're going to go from one failure to the next. You're going to constantly fail. You're going to constantly be at the place where you're not producing at the level that is required. And you want to get yourself out of that. You want to get yourself, break free from the clutter, break free from procrastination, break free from the things that are slowing you down, because the longer you stay in a place of high levels of stress, the worse it's going to get. The longer you stay at a place where you have no order in your life, in your business, in your paperwork, the longer it's going to take you to get to the place of seeing things happen at the level you want it to happen. And the longer you take to get rid of procrastination in your life, the worse it's going to get for you as the days go by, because the files will pile up, the paperwork will pile up, the orders will pile up, because you are not at the place of getting things done quickly. You want to move at a high pace. You want to move at an accelerated pace. You want to see success at an accelerated pace. In order to see that, get rid of the nagging things, the things that you know you've got to get right today. Because many times what we do is we spend more time on the unnecessary instead of focusing on what is necessary. So stop wasting time on what is unnecessary. Focus on what is required. Focus on the important things. If you're a business owner, you should not be going to the business late. You should arrive early to set in order the time that is required to invest into your staff. So make sure that you arrive early. If you're working for a boss, don't drag your feet because your boss is a light-hearted person and say everything is fine and they accept your excuses. Don't make unnecessary excuses, because you are actually shooting yourself in the foot. If you are going to produce at a lower level than is required of you, you want to be at a high level. If you're the only person, or even if you have one staff, and that one staff is the only person in your business, you need to arrive early, because how you think determines what you prepare for. So here's another principle I want to share with you. You will always possess what you position for. You will always possess what you position for. What are you positioning for? What are you positioning for? What are you preparing for your tomorrow? Because you will only possess what you position for. If you're positioning as a person who is not going to make an impact in tomorrow, then your business will remain at a low level. Your business will not produce. You got to think beyond the level of where you are. You got to think outside of the box. You got to think outside of the environment that you are in, because you want to see your business produce at high levels of victory, at high levels of productivity. You want to see yourself at the level of production where you become influential. Why does God want you to be blessed? Why does God want you to be influential? Because God wants you to reveal the excellence of His kingdom here upon the earth. How can you reveal the excellence of God's kingdom when you're producing at a level of mediocrity? How can you expect God to bless a lack of order? How can you expect to hear from God when you are highly stressed? How can you expect to hear clearly the voices that want to drive you to where you need to be when you are so heavily laden and burdened with the unnecessary things in life? Whether you're running a ministry, whether you're running a business, whether you're working for a boss, unclutter your life. De-stress. Take time to de-stress and get out of the environment. Don't ever plan your holidays around your home. Your holiday, okay, you can spend a couple of days at home, get done what needs to be done, but make sure you at least take the last 2 weeks of your holiday to get out of town. Plan for those. Invest in holidays. See, when you put money into a holiday, it's not an expense for you and your family. To get away, to take a break. Like I showed you this morning when we started off, I showed you the ocean, and I'll show it to you. If you just stick with me, I'll show you the ocean right next to us. Even though while we're working, we're taking a break at the same time to think clearly, to hear from God what is the next strategy for the ministry, to hear from God what is the next strategy for the investments, for the future, for our life, for our congregation, for the people that we impact. We want to hear from God clearly so that we come back stronger and more passionate and more vibrant than ever before. Now, when you face hurdles, when challenges come your way, do not ever spend more time focusing on the challenges than you do focusing on the God who called you for this time, for the season. Focus on God. Know that God's got this. No matter what you're facing, God knew it before you was even put on the earth. No matter what you're going through right now, God already has the answers. And here's this idea, this thought. God has put in you everything you need to get through what you're going through. God has already put in you everything you need to get through what you are going through right now. So de-stress, plan your holidays, plan the getaways with your family, because it's not an expense, it is an investment into the future of your entire family. The more you take breaks with your family, the longer happiness will abide in your home. Try it out and you'll see. Invest in little breaks. Get out of town. Get away from the buzz. Get away from the noise. Get away from all of the things that are cluttering your life, because you want to think clearly, you want to be successful, you want to operate at a high level of excellence. So de-stress and get rid of the clutter. In other words, have order. Get rid of procrastination. Don't put off for tomorrow what you should have been doing today. Because procrastination, yes, we've heard it, it's a thief of time. But procrastination is a destroyer of high-level thinkers. Procrastination is a destroyer of high-level dreams. Procrastination will destroy every dream that you have set in place in the beginning of the year. So let's get rid of the old. Let's embrace the new. Let's move at a high level of excellence. So in closing today, let's have a look at what is the requirement to be highly successful in life. What is the requirement? Number one requirement is de-stress. De-stress. Amen? De-stress. So watch this now. It is important to get away. Get away to the mountains. I love the ocean. My wife loves the ocean. The kids love the ocean. So get away to wherever you find that you can de-stress from time to time. Make sure you do it. Make sure you get out of town. Spend some time with the family, away from the buzz, away from the noise, and get to the place where you can de-stress and enjoy a time away with your precious family. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. I do hope this has encouraged you. Every Thursday morning, I just want to throw some thoughts your way. Nothing heavy, nothing unnecessary. I just want to give you the basics and the most important stuff to get you to the place to produce at high levels of success. So if there are any questions that you have, please let us know. Send us messages. If anything you want me to discuss in the next couple of Thursdays that we talk to you, please let me know how I, as the excellence coach, can help make your business better and help make your life better. Remember, it's for free. It's not costing you anything. If you want to sow a seed, you're most welcome to, but there is no charge to get free advice from the excellence coach. Thank you so much for being a part of our lives and a part of the excellence coach, as I encourage you every Thursday morning. Please share this message and join us again next Thursday. Thank you so much for being a part of this. God bless you.